J from Bobby Bead and Team TOHO. I would love to welcome you all to the 2021 TOHO Challenge Modern Traditions Featured Artist Live Showcase. Once again, Team TOHO has come up with an amazing palette of 17 beautiful TOHO seed bead colors and 7 Starman check bead colors. We have supplied bead kits to 30 featured designers from all over the world and gave them 3 months to create an original design in the medium of their choice. in the challenge theme and using the variety of bead shapes and colors in the kit. The feature designer pieces were to inspire you all to take the challenge also and create an original design using the TOHO seed beads and Starman check glass beads from the Modern Traditions 2021 palette. With me today is Iwao Yamanaka, President CEO of TOHO Beads, along with their talented translator, Stuart Rodney. Hello, Iwao. Hello, Stuart.
Hi, everyone.
TOHO チャレンジ2021のフィーチャーアーティストライブをご覧いただきましてありがとうございます。今回も TOHO ビーズとスターマンのチョコビーズを使った TOHO チャレンジキットを配布させていただきました。そのキットを使って世界中から集まった30人のフィーチャーデザイナーにオリジナルの作品を作っていただくというチャレンジに挑戦をしていただきました。世の中の不確実性が増していく中、自分の個性を生かして新しいことにチャレンジしようと、そんな思いを込めて選んだ色でした。この後、フィーチャーアーティストの皆さんに登場いただいて、インタビューにお答えいただく時間もありますので、最後までぜひごゆっくりご覧いただけたらと思います。
Thank you, Iwao. And now let's head back over to Rochelle, who's going to tell you about our TOHO Challenge sweepstakes happening during the show, starting with good news, right, Rochelle?
Absolutely. We're so excited you've joined us tonight. So to help you introduce you to next year's challenge, we are giving away 10 of the TOHO mini challenge kits in a random drawing we're having tomorrow out of the people who are with us here tonight. So to enter to win a free kit, all you have to do is like the video and put in a comment during this video of how much you love TOHO beads. We want to hear why you love TOHO beads, and then we'll enter your name in the drawing, and you could be one of the first 10 people to get your very own TOHO Challenge 2022 mini kit. Now, Stuart will translate the rules for our Japanese viewers. We want the whole world to be involved.
今回のこのライブをご覧いただいた方の中から抽選で10名の方にですね、2022のTOHOチャレンジミニキットをプレゼントしたいと思います。応募方法としては、Facebook 上でこのライブ中にいいねを押してください。で、ライブ中に関するコメントやTOHOビーズのいいねのところでコメントで投稿してください。コメントを押す、コメントをいいねを押す、コメントを投稿する、この2つをしていただくことで、ミニキットプレゼントの抽選者の中にお名前を入れさせていただきます。で、その中から抽選で10名を選ばせていただきたいと思いますので、皆さん、ぜひともいいねとコメントよろしくお願いします。
Thank you, Iwao. And we're going to head back over to Rochelle again for the introduction of the TOHO Challenge 2021 feature designers. Over to you, Rochelle.
Thank you. We'd like to show you now the beautiful works of art that these features designers created this year and tell you a little bit about their inspirations for their pieces and hear in their own words from them about their experience taking the challenge. First, we have Agnieszka Ochaka. She created a black necklace with ammonite. She says, "This necklace represents me so much. I have a soft spot for black and generally any monochromatic designs with just a little bit of different color. I love colors, but also love playing with the aspects other than just contrast, like here with the black on black swirls. I've decided to make this only using 3 colors from the palette to show how much you can do with very little, and also to show my most traditional way of thinking and creating things. Not too over the top, but still a little different." The bracelet and earrings set is a combination of the teal and green and pink shades with black outlines and a touch of metallic. Just clicked in my mind after I saw the kit. They're joyous, bright, and defined like new modern traditions we should be establishing in these difficult times. Next, we have a design by Alexandra Sidorenko. Let's hear from her in her own words about her design.
Hello, my dear friends. My name is Alexandra Sidorenko. I am a jewelry designer and educator. I was born in magnificent Asian city Lviv in Ukraine, and now I am living with me and my family in Garden State, New Jersey, in Cherry Hill. I did beading probably all my life, and my earlier memory when I played with beads, I was about 6 years old. So as you see, this is a long journey with the beads. I have to tell you that many years ago, I guess it's more than 10 years ago by now, I discovered beautiful quality of TOHO seed beads. I fell in love with the seed beads, and starting from that time, I'm working with TOHO seed beads constantly. Also, I do participate in a couple challenges of TOHO. I was honored to do the even very first TOHO challenge, and I still have this piece with me. This is one of my favorite, very wearable piece. Love everything about the color combination and seed beads choice in this kit. The second TOHO challenge was, okay, I have to admit, I don't remember which year it was, but I did about 5 TOHO challenges, and I will just simply show you these pieces. As you see, color combo is amazing, and this color combo speaks to me immediately from the first second. It was love for the whole life. And there is my another TOHO challenge piece. I do adore colors, and this time I decided to do something quite different, and from the necklaces I decided to do some object. And as you see, this is a wall clock. A few more TOHO challenges as well. Another piece of TOHO. I must admit this one was most difficult TOHO challenge for me because I don't work with pink as much as I should. And I had to admit that after this challenge, which was difficult for me, I finally discovered the beauty of the pink color of seed beads, and now I'm using pink much more than I did before. So quite often I do have a question, why I'm doing the TOHO challenge. Okay, first of all, when you get a kit with different colors, and sometimes this color is going very away from your comfort zone, you're always challenging yourself. You try to find something unique and different in every single color combination. So it's even self-education. And why I do love TOHO kits? Because those kits is always made perfectly well. And I know that people who made kits, they listen to all the people who work with those kits carefully. They adding different sizes of beads, different colors, different shapes, even different shades. And this is always very helpful. And why do I love TOHO beads? Okay, how can I not? The beads with excellent quality, unlimited colors, and also, which is very important, with amazing team who live in both parts of the country, in Japan and in United States. And all these TOHO people, my good friends, love them dearly. So, and talking about people who work for TOHO, I will show you my latest piece, this clutch. And I must tell you, this clutch take very difficult moment. When I was working with this clutch, it was very difficult moment of my life, because when I received this beautiful kit, shortly after that, my mom and dad passed away, and my creativity died for a very long time. And only thank you for Rochelle Patterson, who believe in me, and I have chance. Just thanks, Rochelle, for that, because truly you believe in me, you encourage me, you give me time to recover, and just thanks to you, this little clutch was born. So thank you, all TOHO people, for the inspiration, for creativity, and your kit bring me back to life. So I do love TOHO beads. Probably I should say this in slightly different way. I really love TOHO beads.
Thank you, Alexandra. Let's hear from Agnieszka in her own words about her experience.
Hi there, my name is Aga, I'm from Poland and I have been working with beads and making jewelry for over 10 years now. I love designing, I love bead embroidery, I love soutache, and above all, I really love beads. The previous year I signed up for Team TOHO's mini kit giveaway, and with the materials that I got, I made this. Participating in the mini challenge was quite a spontaneous thing for me. I didn't know what to expect or if I'll be able to do anything with the colors, but I loved what it was, which is a challenge. I think that anything that makes you step out of your comfort zone is worth at least trying. So I was very excited when I got invited to participate in this year's main challenge, especially that some of the bead colors are not really available in my country. When I got the beads for my challenge, inspiration hit me from all different sides. I could imagine various different designs with their various color combinations and with different techniques. So in the end, I couldn't really make up my mind and decided to make 3 distinct works, each representing kind of a different side of me. I really wanted to firstly make something kind of flat and monochrome and a little muted with maybe one distinct color popping from the dark beads. So that's the closest to my heart really, and I made a necklace with black on black swirls with a pop of peach orange. I also wanted to make something crazy, 3-dimensional and very colorful to step out of my comfort zone a little bit. So I made a set of bracelet and earrings that were inspired by carnival dances and things like that. I couldn't resist additionally making something more delicate, and the combination of shades of yellow, green and brown reminded me of the earth and nature and ferns and things like this. So I decided to additionally make a small pendant to top it all off. While creating all these pieces, the colors and the design were somewhat of a challenge to me, but what wasn't at all out of my comfort zone were the TOHO beads. I mean, ever since I discovered them, I use them in nearly all of my works. Well, their shape is a perfect balance between an angular tube and a round bead. The colors are all I even need, and I haven't seen matte black that would be better than here anywhere else, and I do use it a lot. In most cases they're very even, and don't get me even started on TOHO treasures. Demi-round TOHO beads are a marvel that I didn't even know I needed, and now I use them in almost all of my works again, and they add this extra texture and extra dimension to every work I make. So all in all, what can I say? I love TOHO beads. Cheers!
Thank you so much, Aga. The next design is called Colibri World by Christine Lewandowski. She says, I was excited to play with the colors for this year. The colors look like earth, like life, animals, the desert, and maybe something mysterious. Combined together, they are beautiful. I tried my hand at different stitches and shapes like waves, the sea. Every day I was inspired to come up with new ideas. In the end, an owl emerged from my imagination. The class became a cute little colibri. After 220 hours of working with these fantastic beads, Colibri World was born. Just absolutely beautiful design. Thank you so much. Now let's hear from her.
Hello, my name is Christine Lewandowski. I live in Oberhausen, Germany. The name of my necklace is Colibri's World. Since 15 years, I'm thrilled to work with pearls. It satisfies me and I can easily relax while doing it. Finishing a piece of jewelry always makes me happy, and I completely enjoy the process. I have known about the challenge since 2018, and Twinkle Beads encouraged and supported me to participate. So I was very excited because it is always a special challenge to combine the colors of the TOHO pearls and to find the right stitch technique and to produce a beautiful piece of art. The kit for the competition this year was a big challenge for me, but I was excited to play with the colors and to try myself out. The colors of the pearls this year were full of life and very inspiration for me. Every day I got new ideas for new stitching techniques and combination of colors. The pearls are high quality and it's always fun to work with it. I love TOHO pearls.
Thank you so much. Let's hear from the next designer, Cornelia. She's going to tell us all about her piece, Totally Linked.
Hello, I am Cornelia Himmelreich. I have been a hobby beader since 2010. I come from Germany, nearby Hamburg. I took part in the mini challenges 2019 and 2020 and was requested last year as a featured designer for this year. This question was a huge honor for me and therefore, of course, also a matter to participate in it. My designs are mostly based on geometric shapes and therefore this was also the intuition for this year's work. Since cubic raw is my favorite discipline, these two things have been combined. Furthermore, this chain should also be wearable for me. Most of the time, I start with a central element and everything around it then arises by itself. So usually everything without a sketch. This time I approached it differently. It was so important to me that I made an approximate sketch before. Only then I began to bead. When I received the kit, this color range was an absolute challenge for me. In fact, also these colors are super harmonious. They are very far from my comfort zone. However, the more I worked with these colors, the more I began to like and love this color combination. I really enjoyed combining them again and again and exploring their joint effect. The whole design was guided only by the pearls available to me. For me, I combined traditional parts, the elements based on hugs and kisses, with modern parts, the cubic raw balls. Apart from memory wire and thread, I did not use any additional material and used at least a few of each type of pearl in any size. But seed beads in significantly increased quantities. When beading, there are only two companies for me whose seed beads I use, because only here, for me, does the quality also do justice to the jewelry. Because with the time required, the quality simply has to be right. And the TOHO pearls are simply unique to me in their color range. So I've always preferred TOHO beads. I really love TOHO beads.
Thank you so much. Next we have Controlled Chaos by Deborah Duran Geiger. Her design is a mixture of textures that were mathematically calculated using multiples of 10. The beads were meticulously counted as I strung them onto crochet cording. Each bead was then individually crocheted into place using a micro size 10 crochet hook. I crocheted a rope measuring 7 feet or 2.13 meters, before I connected the ends. I used a little bit of all the beads that were included in the box that I received. This was a beautiful project to focus on during the chaotic COVID pandemic. I love and appreciated participating in the 2021 TOHO Bead Challenge. Let's hear from Deborah about her experience a little bit more.
Hi, my name is Deborah Duran Geiger from Santa Fe, New Mexico in the U.S. I love all forms of off-loom bead weaving, but bead crochet is my passion. I am honored to have been invited to participate in the 2021 TOHO Bead Challenge, especially through the isolation of being home during the COVID pandemic. It gave me the opportunity to focus my attention on creating my crocheted piece, which is titled Controlled Chaos. For me, the project was cathartic. The color palette this year was happy and uplifting. Crocheting together the many bead sizes and shapes enabled me to give my piece a rich spiral texture, which melded beautifully with the sleek and precise sections of my rope. I pretty much exclusively use TOHO beads in all my beadworks. The high quality and size precision gives me confidence that my beadwork creations will be of the highest standard. The huge selection of colors, sizes, and shapes always inspires and sparks my creativity. I absolutely love working with TOHO beads. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Deborah. Now let's hear about The Vanishing World by Elfleda Russell.
Hello, Beading World. Hello, Bobby Beads and Rochelle, and hello, TOHO. I'm Elfleda Russell. I live in Vancouver, Canada, on the edge of the Pacific Ocean. The ocean has always inspired my work, from my early large paintings to through decades of weaving large sculptural tapestries that would have filled the wall behind me. And when I came to beading, which I began about 20 years ago, to me it was a compression of all the power and energy I wanted in my earlier work, expressed on this compressed small scale. To me, I was creating little atomic bombs of energy. When Rochelle invited me to take part in TOHO Challenge 21, I was already working up the idea for a new series, which was centered on climate change and how it was affecting life under the ocean that I loved so much. When her bead kit first arrived, there was a little moment of disappointment, because the jewel-like tones of the starfish, which had disappeared now on our beaches, that I expected to make the focal point of my piece, those jewel tones weren't there. It was a much somber, fall-like combination of colors. But I realized, okay, this is a collaboration. I can adjust what each element says and still make the same statement with the piece. So I began exploring the beads. The next thing I realized is the different shapes and sizes available in the various TOHO colors were a sculpting opportunity, a design opportunity, an opportunity to retain simplicity and subtlety within a piece, while changing the way the light is caught by the different shapes of beads within the same color of a piece. So I began to explore these different shapes and sizes of beads, having prior to this been a bit of an eco snob and tending to use one bead type, whether triangular or cube, which I did love, throughout a piece. Now I've changed forever. I will always need different shapes and sizes within colors to really express the kind of rich surface experience that I discovered in this piece. So I decided early on I would make my piece resemble the roadside memorials to tragic events that pop up all over the world now. It's composed of 3 domes on a seabed those domes aren't realistic rocks. They could have been, but I wanted to use the domes that we're used to seeing in great cathedrals and make you realize this is a reference to a kind of altar, an everyman's altar. Everything here is symbolic. It's a fable, it's not a realistic reef. The side domes represent healthy life under the ocean, creatures living in a balanced coexistence. You see starfish, sea stars we're supposed to call them now, seaweed, fish spawn, barnacles, coral, living together in a design that is probably some of the best beading I've ever done. The curved element of the curved lines spinning on the seabed repeat the pinwheels that compose the happy tips of the coral trees. And I used repetition throughout to make you appreciate how interconnected everything is. The pentagonal form of the sea stars is repeated in all the anemones that are also pentagonal in form. The beading of the brain coral was a eureka moment for me. Its superstructure is a styrofoam dome that I could put the beading needle right through. It's only about half an inch thick. I started with a herringbone outline, which I found by using a large bead on one side, a small on the other, I could curve. So I could get the movement and curving forms within the beading and then fill it with textured brick stitch that opened to me a whole new expressive type of beading. So I thank you, TOHO, for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, Elfrida. Ewell and Stuart, would you give us a brief summary?
Sure. Thanks a lot, Rochelle. では、先ほどいただいた、お言葉なんですが、どの作者も、このミニキットから、この東宝チャレンジに参加していただいているという歴史がすごくありまして、でも、今回は、フィーチャーアーティストとして招待されることなんかが、すごくなんか栄光に思われているということが、どの作者でもそういうふうにおっしゃってたんですが、で、基本的に、今回のチャレンジの色合い、その配色が、難しいというのは、とってもなんか何人がそういうふうにおっしゃってたんですが、でもそれを見て、自分と向き合うチャンスができまして、そして、新しいこと、新しいディスカバリー、新しい発見のチャンスだったということをおっしゃっていました。で、その作品によって、何のインスピレーションがあったのか、昔の経験とか、その幼い頃の、思い出とか、そういうこともありまして、で、その思い出が、この作品にその作品の計画とか、その作り方に影響がありましたということもありました。で、そのキットについて、その豊かな色合いがありました。ということも、すごく何方もおっしゃいまして、で、その豊かさがあっても、じゃあどういうふうに組み合わせるのか、そういうことがすごくチャレンジになりまして、計画があっても、キットを開けるときに、ちょっと計画を変えないといけないんですかなという思いがありまして、でもそれが、新しい発見につながりましたということ。で、作品自体については、とてもなんかフラットな作品、その3色だけ使うこともありまして、でもそのあったり、全部をその色を全部組み合わせて、なんか どういうふうにその色合いに導かれるたくさんの色を使おうという作品もありました。で、COVID、このコロナ禍の中の、自分と向き合う、静かな、心を静める時もありまして、なんか清められた感じもありましたという、作者もいました。そして、社会的な問題と向き合う、環境的な問題と向き合う、チャンスもありまして、先ほどのラッセルさんがおっしゃっていたんですが、コラルリーフ、そのサンゴについて、そのダメージ、ダメージを受けているコラルリーフについて、それを念にして、作品を作りましたということで、で、あとは、ロードサイドメモリアル。日本で言うと、多分、お地蔵さんが置いてある場所、何か悲惨な出来事があった、場所にお地蔵さんが、置いてあって、こちらの作品は、そのようなものでした。その思いで何か、私たちが、地球に、与えているダメージがあったんですが、あったので、それを思わせる、考えさせる作品として、お作りになりました。で、あとは、みんながTOHOビーズの色の豊かさとか、TOHOビーズの、もちろん、その、品質と、その品質と、統一さについても称えてくれましたので、なんか、このチャレンジに入ると、すごくなんか、成長のチャンスでしたと、みんなが言われました。Thanks, Rochelle. That's it. So we're going to head right back to you, Rochelle, for the next set.
Just for a small moment, actually, we are going to give this part over to you and Iwao to introduce two of our Japanese featured designers that are live with us here today.
Okay. So first up, we will have the chance to speak with Ms. Emi Yamada, who made her Flower Carnival piece for us.
はい、じゃあここからは、日本のフィーチャーアーティストの皆さんに、私の方からインタビューをしていきたいと思います。山田先生、よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
スターストリーミング。すいません。まずお祭りのね、楽しさや明るい雰囲気を、お花で表現したというフラワーカーニバルというタイトルの、作品を今回作っていただきましたが、まず山田先生、自己紹介というかですね、今普段どういったところでどういう活動されているかっていうのをお話しいただけますか？
はい。私は、山田恵美です。改めまして。私は広島に在住で、ビーズ教室、それから、デザイナーを2000年からやっております。コツコツと、作品を作るのを楽しく、作りながら生徒さんに教えています。はい。
So I'm Emi Yamada. I'm living in Hiroshima, and I've been working with beads crochet and since 2000, and I now run a school for students who want to learn as well.
はい、そしたら次は山田先生チャレンジしよう元にTOHOチャレンジに参加しようと思った理由は我々がオファーしたからなと思うんですけど、山田さんにとってTOHOチャレンジのはどんな位置づけですかね？
はい、まず、参加させていただいてありがとうございます。TOHOチャレンジというのは、世界のリーダーさんと、つながるようなそんな感じがしています。同じビーズキットを使って、作品を作り上げるというその面白さが、とてもあると思っています。で、普段自分が使わない色 先ほどもコメントありましたが、自分がチョイスしない色も入ってたりするんですが、その中で、どのようにこれを作っていくか、作品に仕立てていくかというときに、新しい発見や、新しい想像を起こして、作っていくという、そこがまた一段と楽しいというふうに私は感じています。
And so, making the beads or participating in the challenge gives me a sense of connection with beaders around the world. And when I received the kit, it was interesting. It actually became even more interesting for me to look at these colors, many of which I don't actually use usually, and to see how I can develop these into a piece that will express what I want to express.
ありがとうございます。そしたら今ちょっと写真が出てますが、この2021のビーズの配色についてはどうでしたでしょうか。
はい、実は私、TOHOビーズの中でも、セミグレーズドのシリーズが大好きなんですね。で、今回は、そのセミグレーズド、たくさん入っていましたので、ただ色を何色も合わせていくっていうのが、差し色に使っていたので、今回ちょっとね、たくさん入ってましたので、これをどうやってやっていこうかって考えていて、今回の作品になりましたが、今の、こういう、コロナの状況で、お祭りや、それから、旅行や、いろんな楽しみがなかなか制限されていますので、作品にですね、フラワーカーニバルという名前なんですが、その明るい雰囲気と楽しさを、作品の中に込めて、実は作りました。で、一番真ん中のね、カボッションは、もう今ではいけませんが、アメリカのビーズボタン賞、毎年行っておりましたが、そこでですね、買わしていただいた、一点物の作品の、作家さんから買わしていただいたものになっています。その思い出も込めています。
And with regards to the colorscape, the colors that were used in the kit this year, Yamada Sensei really liked the semi-glazed beads. It's actually one of her favorite types or favorite colors of beads, and there are a lot in the kit this year, so she was very happy. And as a result, in her piece, we see the semi-glazed beads being used a lot. And in terms of what she wanted to express, within the Corona crisis, we couldn't get to visit people, we couldn't get to go out. Many of our daily activities were controlled and limited. She wanted to, which was a little bit sad, kind of, and she wanted to express then a piece that would brighten our world during the Corona crisis. And so that was really the thinking behind her flower carnival, the liveliness and the brightness to give a contrast to what was happening around us.
はい、ありがとうございます。それでは山田先生、最後の質問にしたいと思うんですが、TOHOビーズのいいところで、最後にTOHOビーズ大好きで締めていただけたらと思いますが、よろしくお願いします。
はい、ビーズは、とても穴が均等になっていて、作っているものとしてはとても使いやすいです。私は、TOHOビーズ大好きです。I love TOHO beads!
ありがとうございます。
And of course, the last part needs no translation. But of course, Yamada Sensei is saying that she loves the ease of use of TOHO beads. They're really easy to use, and that's the main thing that she loves. Thank you very much, Yamada Sensei.
ありがとうございます。
山田先生でした。ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございます。
And next, we'll speak with Ms. Hiroe Takagi about her very playful piece, Mocha, Latte, and Their Friends.
はい、じゃあ、高木先生、よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。
山田先生と同じくちょっと聞いていきたいなと思うんですが、今回の素材はね、先生から、高木さんからもうすでにコメントいただいてますが、やっぱりセミグレーズド中心で、落ち着いた色から自然な優しいイメージを持っていただいた。で、あと、少しでも楽しくね、遊び心がある作品を見て明るい気持ちになっていただけるように、猫たちに頑張っていただきましたという、この猫がキーワードだったのかなというふうに思うんですが、まずちょっと高木先生の、自己紹介、普段どんな活動されているかについてお話伺ってもよろしいでしょうか。
はい。私はもともと服飾デザイナー、8年間アパレルで仕事をしていたんですけども、その後ネイルアーティストになりましたというちょっと変わった経歴を持っています。で、サロンワークやジェルネイル講師として仕事をした経験があります。大阪出身なんですけども、夫の仕事の都合で横浜に在住しています。ビーズと出会った時はちょうど横浜に来た時で、ハンドメイドアクセサリーとして現在は活動しています。やはり服とかそういうものが好きだったので、そういう素材を使った作品を作るのが得意です。今は組紐アクセサリーのディプロマ講座を日本シードビーズ協会TOHOさんと一緒に企画を立ち上げ、組紐台の開発をしていろんなものを作ろうと、新しい世界を展開しようと頑張っています。
And Ms. Takagi actually started out as a designer for decorations for apparel. That's where she started in the apparel industry. Then she changed to cosmetology, being a nailist. And so she's had a very varied history. And now she lives and works in Yokohama. And that's where she met with Seed Beads. And of course, being a clothes designer, it was kind of natural for her to go towards using beads for making accessories for clothes. At this point, she is a developer and an instructor in the Japan Seed Bead Society, the Kumihimo course. She is developing curriculum and working with the students there.
それでは次の質問は、高木先生にとってはTOHOチャレンジ何回かやっていただいていると思うんですが、TOHOチャレンジはどんな位置づけでしょうか。
はい。素材は指定されたものを使うというルールはあるんですけども、デザインは自由、オリジナル作品でというところがとても面白い企画だと思います。出来上がった作品を数多くの方に見ていただけるチャンスでもあるし、自分が今までに使ったことがない素材、色だったり、いろんな出会いがあるっていうのも、本当に皆さんがおっしゃったように、自分に試練というか、勉強になるいい機会だと思っています。
And participating in the challenge was, as for most of the other artists that we've heard so far, a new challenge for Ms. Takagi, in that she had to look at beads and see beads that she doesn't really use and figure out how she was going to create a piece from this. But it became fun for her because she saw it as a chance to show a new side of herself, a new expression of herself, and something that would help people to cheer up, as it were, very playful and very colorful as it was.
はい、そしたら今映ってると思うんですが、今回の配色ですね、今回のチョイスされたビーズの色とかビーズとか、その辺についてのご感想、作ってみてどうだったかなみたいなところのコメントいただけたらと思います。
はい。色合いに関しては私もセミグライズドビーズが大好きで、色数が多いのもオリジナル作品ではよく使っているので、そほど抵抗はないんですけども、ただ一点、黒色だけはどうしようと本当に困りました。で、ビーズをよく見たときに、茶色があって、白があって、黒がある、これ三毛猫かなみたいな。もうそういう発想に行ったので、もうこれはもう猫に登場してもらおうということで、猫友さんたちの、猫さんたちとうちのモカラテを作品の中に入れると、きっと楽しいものができるかなとなると、トンネル必要だよねとか、後ろ姿も可愛いよねとか、ひげいるよねとか、いろんなことがこうどんどんつながっていって、デザインするのが本当に楽しかったです。
And so Takagi sensei, she also likes semi-glazed beads, but then when she looked at the kit, she was a little bit worried about how to use the black beads. You know, so that was a big challenge for her. But then when she looked at the combinations that she could get from it, it popped into her mind to use the inspiration of her cats, and we see them in her piece playing around, being very fun-filled and giving a fun-filled atmosphere to the piece itself, along with the other colors that were used. And so the colors were very nice colors, but then when it came to putting the piece together, well, she said, okay, well, let me go with the cats and let's see how they can brighten up the piece. And of course, we can see the result here, a very playful and colorful piece.
はい、それでは最後に、東宝ビズのいいところで、最後、締めの東宝ビズ大好きで締めていただけたらと思います。よろしくお願いします。
はい。本当に皆さんがおっしゃるように、やはり色数が多いこと、そしてクオリティがとてもいいこと、ビーズの大きさが揃っているということ、本当に制作する側には重要なことで、変色、耐久性にも優れている素材というのは、やはり作品を作る上でとても重要です。なので、TOHOビーズは制作する側の要望に合わせた商品を提供してくれていると思います。私は本当にTOHOビーズさん大好きで、もう必須のものです。
ありがとうございます。
TOHOビーズ。ラテも大好きです。
ありがとうございます。
Arigato, maybe latte or mocha there. And yes, Takagi Sensei, of course, in terms of TOHO beads, what she loves about TOHO beads are, of course, as many people have said, the many, many colors that are there. And of course, the quality of the colors and the consistency. But also that TOHO, in terms of the finishing processes, are the processes that they use for the beads help the beads to last longer. And that's very much appreciated by artists. And of course, she loves TOHO beads because of all of these things. Thank you very much, Takagi Sensei.
ありがとうございました。それでは引き続き、須藤君江先生には、事前にビデオでインタビューでビデオを撮ってますので、そちらの方を見ていただきたいと思います。
And Ms. Kimie Suto couldn't be with us today, but she graciously granted our request for a video interview. So we will go ahead and see that video now.
よろしくお願いします。
はい、よろしくお願いします。じゃあ、こんにちは、皆さん。今日はですね、東宝チャレンジ2020のフィーチャーアーティストに参画していただいている須藤君先生に来ていただいています。須藤先生、よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。須藤君です。
まずは自己紹介いただいてもよろしいでしょうか。
はい。私、針と糸で作るビーズステッチ作家の須藤君江と申します。ビーズ制作を仕事にしてなんと20年ぐらいになりました。アクセサリーは自分で作るもの。作るを当たり前に、私は作るを楽しむためのビーズキットのデザインを専門にお仕事をしています。コロナ禍、イベントは大ごけです。教室も今一つという状況の中、それでも一緒に作ったり、できた喜びを共有したいと思い、インスタグラムやフェイスブックに作品をアップしています。そこでもらえるコメントは本当に嬉しくって、私の今の作るというエネルギーになっています。これからは YouTube も頑張っていこうと、本当に2、3日前、数日前に作り方動画もアップしてみたところです。ビーズワーク須藤君江で検索していただければご覧いただけますので、お時間あるときに見ていただければ嬉しいです。また、TOHOさんのビーズの学校、シードビーズ協会ビーズステッチ講座のカリキュラムの構築や、ビーズステッチの教科書のほか、チェコメイトビーズのアクセサリーや憧れの大人アクセサリーのハウツー本も出版しております。どうぞよろしくお願いします。須藤君江でした。
よろしくお願いします。
お願いします。
それでは、東宝チャレンジ、何回もね、参加していただいていると思うんですけど、フィーチャーアーティストとして参加していただいていると思うんですけども、まず、東宝チャレンジは、須藤さんにとってどんな位置づけでしょうか？
自分とビーズの勝負という感じでしょうかね。はい。 自分はどうしたいのかとか、どうありたいのかっていう思考を持ちながらも作品を作っていると、やっぱりいつも完璧にはできない。で、その完璧ではない自分にダメ出しを出しながらも、自信がなくてもトライアンドエラーを繰り返しながら一つの作品を完成できることかなということと、あと今の精一杯の自分を認めてあげることもできたんじゃないかなと思っております。ビーズと向き合うことで新しいチャレンジや自分の今後のなりたいを今一度考えることができるような気がしています。
なるほど、ありがとうございます。いや、それで今年のですね、2020のその色とか配色、またいつもと違った今回コンセプトだったんですけども、須藤さんにとってどんな色合いというか感想とかいただけたらなと思いますが、いかがでしょうか。
最初の見た感じのイメージはカラフルで楽しい、バラエティっていうイメージ、それと幸せっていう感じのインスピレーションを受けました。しかし自分では選ばない色や形、どうしよう、どうするのの連続で、それから一回見ては、なんて言うんでしょう、しばらくはTOHOチャレンジビーズの材料キットの箱を出して、今日も無理って言って見てはしまう、見てはしまうとずっとにらめっこして、結構いつもながらしんどい感じなんですけど、結果的にはなんかそれがチャレンジなのかなと思っているので、はい。楽しく最後はできて、はい、楽しかったです。はい。
ありがとうございます。
はい。
そういう意味で楽しんでいただいて、悩みながらも楽しいっていうところがね、いいところかなと思いますが。
そうですね。
いつもね、TOHOビーズを使っていただいていると思うんですけども、TOHOビーズのいいところをね、先生からちょっといただけたらなと思いますが、いかがでしょうか。
色が綺麗なのはもちろんなこと、種類が豊富、粒が揃ってる、安いですね。それとやっぱりいつ買い足しても色ぶれが少ないっていうのがすごく魅力だなと思います。はい。
ありがとうございます。それでは最後に先生から一言メッセージをいただけたらなと思いますが。
はい。まずは一粒入魂の精神で作っている職人さんには本当にありがとうございますといつも感謝しております。おかげさまでビーズを楽しむことができております。そしてTOHOさん、個人の要望にも寄り添ってくれて、私のようなものにでもね、本当に親切丁寧に対応してくれるのが本当に大好きです。はい。これからもワクワクする企画やビーズを楽しみにしております。違うな。私も一緒にビーズの楽しさを伝えていきたいです。そんなお手伝いができれば嬉しいと思います。I love TOHOビーズ。こんな感じですか？はい。
ありがとうございます。
はい、本日はありがとうございました。
こちらこそありがとうございました。
You're muted, TOHO. How do we get him a message? Why don't I? Stuart?
声がなかった。もう一回ね。
Here we go.
One more.
I'm sorry. So we're going to introduce Harvest Festival by designer Ms. Harumi Araki.
はい、じゃあ引き続き、荒木アルミ先生の作品紹介していきたいと思います。今回はハーベストフェスティバルというね、タイトルで、作品作っていただきましたが、荒木先生のコメント。今回箱を開けた瞬間、私の大好きな自然豊かな色彩のセミグレーズドビーズが目に飛び込んできました。色とりどりのビーズは美味しそうな組み合わせ。 いちごにベリーにブドウなど、フルーツをたくさん盛り合わせたようなネックレスを作ろうと迷わず夢中で編みました。思いのまま自由に作成したので、どのパーツもそれぞれ個体差がありますが、より自然な感じが表現できたかなというふうに思います。フルーツの収穫祭、今年の実りに感謝を込めてというふうに、コメントいただきました。
And in English, I'll just read the comment. The moment I opened the kit, my favorite semi-glazed beads in rich, natural hues jumped out at me. It was a delicious combination of colorful beads, strawberries with other berries, grapes, and the like. Without hesitation, I got absorbed in knitting, aiming to create a necklace of a wide assortment of fruits. I freely followed my thoughts in making the piece, and though there were individual differences in each part, I think I was able to achieve a more natural expression. With gratitude for the crop of this year's Harvest Festival by Harumi Araki.
じゃあ続いて、鈴木恵子先生の作品ご紹介したいと思います。
And next we will have the piece by Suzuki Keiko.
はい、鈴木先生のタイトルは今回は、このような作品ですが、続くコロナ禍で外出制限もあっておうち時間がたくさんある中、大好きなビーズと向き合うお時間をいただきありがとうございました。TOHOチャレンジ作品をご覧になっていただく方々、そして自分自身にも楽しく癒し効果のある作品になったらいいなという思いを込めて、思うまま自由に制作をさせていただきました。コロナ禍でも変わらずTOHOチャレンジを開催していただき感謝申し上げます。というコメントをいただきました。
And in English, Ms. Suzuki's comments, with the continuing coronavirus crisis, the curfews, and the ample time at home, I give thanks for the time I've gotten to sit down with my beloved beads. I made this piece just as I liked, thinking it would be great if this becomes a piece that gives enjoyment and healing to the people, including myself, who view the works in the TOHO Challenge. I'm grateful that despite the coronavirus crisis, the TOHO Challenge continues to be held.
はい、ありがとうございました。
Thank you very much, Iwao. And now we're going to join Rochelle once more.
Thank you, Iwao and Stuart, for introducing such amazing artists and their lovely pieces. We'd now like to introduce you to Hannah Rosner for you to hear in her own words and experience about taking the TOHO Challenge this year. She created a piece called Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Her piece combines antique French lace, tambour bead embroidery, braiding, peyote stitch, and bead embroidery. It's made of velvet, lace, and cotton thread, along with TOHO seed beads and starman beads. When she decided to do a coat, originally thought it was going to be a Victorian-inspired piece, but halfway through it started channeling the Beatles. So I decided to go with it, she says. So may I introduce to you Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. And so now may I introduce to you Hannah Rosner. Hannah, can you tell us how many TOHO challenges have you participated in, either being a featured designer or taken the challenge yourself?
Ohayou gozaimasu. Hello. I think I've taken part in all of them, Rochelle, a total of 11. I first got involved with TOHO beads in 2009 when I decided to join the TOHO Beads Emerging Artist Contest, and I've been a huge fan of TOHO's ever since. I might even be their biggest fan. Not only do I love the quality and colors of the beads, but also I have found everyone who works for the company to be extraordinarily kind. Further, there's a wonderful community out there of people who use TOHO beads, and I've been really lucky to work with them and even call them friends. Arigatou gozaimasu. However, I have not been a featured designer for all of the challenges. In some cases, it was really important that other designers be featured and showcased. In addition, some years I just didn't have the time to participate and submit my finished pieces by the deadline. for I just wanted to use the colors as a jumping off point and add my own elements to them. So when that happened, I generally called Rochelle, and she was kind enough to give me the list of Starman and TOHO beads so I could purchase them and take my time making my item. This one right here is the very first one that I ever made. This was the TOHO Emerging Artist 2009 contest, and it's what started my whole addiction with TOHO beads.
What inspires you about the TOHO and Starman beads to do the challenge every year?
Well, when the challenges arrive, I'm always so excited to unbox them and take all the beautiful beads out of the box and look at the colors and the shapes and the sizes. Many times the color palettes are a mix that I have never considered combining beforehand. And there's always these new shapes and these new sizes. And using this new set of colors and shapes together, it's so exciting for me. It's like a puzzle. I think it helps me grow as an artist. For instance, this piece right here used a number of different colors that I don't think I would have put together if I had chosen them myself. However, I just love the way it turned out. When I first began designing the TOHO challenges, I would let the colors just sort of bring me on a journey and point me toward a finished piece. But soon after I began the challenges, I decided that I wanted to try making items that weren't just jewelry or purses. I wanted to make things that were a little different, such as baskets or vases or bottles. And now I decide what I will make before the colors even arrive. So, for instance, in 2020, I decorated a hat because I'd never made one beforehand, and you can see it here. This hat, I decided I was going to do a hat before I got these beautiful colors. And when they arrived, then I decided what color the hat base should be. Likewise, the coat, I decided to make one because I'd never seen a finished garment in the challenges themselves, and I'd never made one myself. The upcoming challenge, the 2022 challenge, Dawn of a New Day, is a lovely set of colors. I can't wait for you guys to see them. I'm not a featured artist for 2022 because I'm currently working on a very large costume design for a theater production right now. I'm designing for theater is actually what my graduate degree was in. However, I did purchase the beads and have started a new design, but I'm not going to tell you until Rochelle shows them to you what it's going to be.
I'm excited to share it. What advice do you have for designers taking the challenge for the first time?
Well, I think that most beginning designers are scared of two things. First of all, they're frightened by the idea of using colors that are maybe not in their comfort zone. And the second is maybe they're a little intimidated by some of the lovely work that they've seen in past challenges. But don't be scared. Remember that every piece is going to be beautiful and is going to be different. Just jump in and have fun. And remember, we all love TOHO beads.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We're so excited. Now we'll
Thank you.
translate for our
Arigatou
Japanese
gozaimasu.
designers.
Thanks very much, Rochelle, and thanks, Ms. Rosner. これからロスナーさんのお答えを読み上げさせていただきます。最初の質問。これまで何度チャレンジに参加されていますかという質問に対してはこうおっしゃってます。毎回フィーチャーアーティストとして参加したわけではありませんが、すべてのチャレンジに参加しています。2009年にTOHOビーズのコンテストに参加して以来、自分でも自分で 自分でも一番のTOHOファンなのではないかと思います。TOHOはビーズの品質もさることもながら、TOHOで働いている人たちはみんな大変親切で優しいです。また、TOHOビーズを使う人たちの間には素晴らしいコミュニティができていて、一緒に仕事するというより、友達感覚でやっています。今日の司会のロシェルさんもその一人ですとお答えになりました。で、二つ目の質問。TOHOとスターマンのビーズの配色などについての感想、インスパイアされることという質問に対してはこうおっしゃってます。今まで組み合わせたことがないビーズの組み合わせは、アーティストとして自分を成長させてくれると思っています。最近のチャレンジの作風として、アクセサリーやバッグ以外の何か変わったものを作りたいと思っていて、今はキットが届くまでに作る対象を決めています。例えば、2020年は帽子、今回の2021年はコートをデコレーションしました。また、2022年のチャレンジのテーマ、新しい一日の始まりは素晴らしい色だと思います。今回は私は大学でも学んでいた劇場用のかなり大きなコスチュームデザインの仕事があり、フィーチャーアーティストとしては参加しませんが、すでにチャレンジのデザインを考え始めていて、ビーズも追加で買っているので、締め切りまでに完成するといいなと思っています。とお答えがありました。3つ目の質問。初めてのチャレンジに参加する人へのアドバイスですが、それは Don't be scared とのこと。使ったことがなくて、自信がない色を使う場合でも恐れないこと。ただ、そこに飛び込んで楽しむことが大事だそうです。Thanks a lot, Rochelle.
The next design we have is called Mandarin Duck by Jeannie Bolin. It was really a challenge for me when I saw the different colors that were included in the kit, she says. Normally I work with 3 to 4 colors in different shades. I didn't know what to do at first. Going traditional? I didn't want to make flowers, although it was the logical option with all the colors. I thought I'd like to see to go with the flow. So I started with a stone that went with all the colors. It's a druzy geode agate cabochon, and created 2 raised beaded cabochons. And then it was puzzling what to do. After a few sketches and combining colors, I realized those colors are the same as the beautiful water birds I had swimming in my pond a few years ago and got lost to a fox. So I changed the design and gave it a more wing shape. I raised the top edges to give it more body. The fringes give it a nice long wing shape and tail. So in my memory of that fantastic water bird and a little bit of imagination, I call my design Mandarin Duck. Let's hear from the next designer, Jean O'Donnell, tell us about her piece called Native Lands.
Hi, my name is Jean O'Donnell. I'm a self-taught gardener, been gardening for about 30 years. I'm a self-taught beader, been beading for about 12. I'm finding that TOHO beads allow me to express my relationship with the land in a different way than with plants. I can use the colors, the forms, and the textures of the beads to create a different kind of expression than I can do with the gardens. It's actually pretty obvious. But this allows me an indoor thing to do since I live in Minnesota, that we've got some indoor time when we're not gardening. It gets cold out there. The 2021 challenge for TOHO this past year was a great palette for me, because I could see in it the desert Southwest, I could see Utah, and I could see Minnesota as well. Where I live, and I've been living down south of Minneapolis, south of the river, south of the Minnesota River for 30 years now, you really have a close association with the native feeling for this place. Our house was built on a cattail swamp, to put it simply. It's never been anything else. It's just a cattail swamp. And I've even found some native stone tools on the property in all the digging that I've done here. It's so therefore the 2021 challenge for me ended up being called Native Lands, because that's what I was inspired to do. It has parts of Utah, parts of the native Southwest, parts of South America, parts of Minnesota in it. And I began with the tumbleweed aspect of the hemp. I knitted the beads into it, and the black beads to me are Native American spirits who are still caught up in the land and are with us all the time. From there, I went to the Kumahimo, because now I knew I was really into this native feeling, and I wanted the leather of the Old West. I wanted the copper from the copper mines, and the beads that are in the Kumahimo evoke some of the stones, particularly stones in Utah, that rust color. From there, I went to the right angle weave and sort of pieced the whole thing together. Added some fringe, again, a Native American touch, with some mother of pearl bird fetishes in there. And that's how the piece ended up. For me, a design never starts out as a sketch that is then brought to life. It just moves through time. And in fact, that piece has inspired the piece that I'm wearing right now, where I went further into the desert sort of feeling and eliminated the check beads and so forth, but added natural stones. In any case, I love TOHO beads. They are fantastic. The color range, the shape range, the size range allows me to do anything I want in 3 dimensions, in 2 dimensions, with movement, static. It doesn't make any difference. And the challenges have taught me, the challenges that I've done throughout the years, whether I did them as a featured designer or as a mini kit person, or maybe just bought that palette of beads on my own and made something out of it. Every time has taught me to look beyond what I thought my capabilities were. The challenges are a stretch, and I would seriously recommend anybody to attempt the challenges, and even if you just buy the beads yourself, work on it and see what you can make out of it. It stretches your personality and stretches your artistic strength to places where you didn't think you were going to go. I hope this has been helpful for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now we have the next design by Justina Glatzwick-Torowicz. She says, last year was difficult for all of us, and everyone dealt with it as best they could. I discovered the love for plants. Throughout the year, I started a large collection of indoor plants, and now I'm waiting for spring to take care of my home garden. Succulents were my inspiration for this necklace. The green balls hanging loosely are my interpretation of the string of pearls plant, and the rosette-shaped flowers decorating the center represents various forms of echeveria, as well as other types of succulents. The shades of green, purple, and pink match the colors and diversity of these plants perfectly. The rest of the colors from the palette completed my vision of a beadable, wearable garden in the form of delicate arabesque patterns made of French wire filled with TOHO beads. Now let's hear from designer Ksenia Gorbanova in her own words about the challenge.
Hi, my name is Ksenia. I'm a beading artist from Munich in Germany. I come originally from Russia, and that's where I learned to bead when I was around 6 or 7 years old. I usually bead objects or animals, and for the TOHO challenge I invented my own kind of fairy creature. Why did I want to take part in the TOHO bead challenge? I feel like the beading community is extraordinarily talented and creative and so diverse, and there are so many different designs and different ideas. And the challenge showcases that in a truly stunning way by providing the same material to every beading designer. It really highlights the beauty of the beading community, I feel. How did I feel inspired by this year's challenge palette? The palette was described as sort of coming back to a comfort zone. The colors feel very toned down, very calm, very quiet. I'm used to work with really bright colors, as you can see on my working desk right now. I'm actually, to be honest, I felt really clueless when I started beading. I just chose several colors that I wanted to use as sort of a base. I used the other colors, other beads, sort of as almost like embroidery. I really improvised along the way to include all the different beads and colors and shapes. I took with me from the challenge that I actually can trust myself in choosing the colors that I wouldn't usually work with. When I create my bead creatures, I need to go through the beads multiple times with my thread, and whenever I use beads that are low quality, whenever there are too many threads going through the bead, I always fear that the bead will break. But TOHO beads have these big holes and they're really robust, so it's easy to work with them when you work with the techniques that I work with. I really loved working with TOHO beads, and I really enjoyed the challenge of that palette that was far out of my comfort zone. I can't wait to see what colors TOHO will choose for the next year's challenges. Thank you so much that I could join, and yeah, I greet you from Munich in Germany.
Thank you. Now we'd like to introduce our next designer, Sandra Rothers. We have a quick video from her, and then we also have her with us, joining us live tonight too. So let's hear a little bit about her experience taking the challenge.
Hello, my name is Sandra Rothers. I am a bead and mixed media artist from Rosemount, Minnesota, USA. This is my first challenge as a feature designer, and I am beyond honored. I want to participate in challenges to be inspired and to grow as an artist. I also find being part of a team creating beauty to be extremely rewarding. When I received my bead kit, the colors and shapes brought to mind vintage Japanese illustrations of lucky cranes and cherry blossoms floating upon the breeze. The theme of modern traditions sparked my imagination to explore traditional themes and techniques in playful and modern ways. This is how my idea of a wearable and multi-layered music box came to life. TOHO beads provide color, quality, and beauty necessary for me to bring my imagination to life. I love TOHO beads. Thank you very much, and many blessings.
Hi, Sandra. Thanks for joining us tonight. And so can you unmute and then join us so we can all hear you?
Of course. It's so good to be here. Thank you.
So my question for you is, what was making the design as a featured design artist different than when you took the challenge on your own the first time?
I had such a wonderful time doing the mini challenge, and again, this is my mini challenge, and to explore different ideas. When I was offered the opportunity to be a featured designer, it became even more important to explore and create something really unique, really special. And TOHO beads allowed me to let my imagination come to life. So I'm very excited that my design can visit Japan, where I cannot.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's having a wonderful time in Tokyo right now at the gallery. And so we do have a video. Could you explain to us how your musical design works? Because it has movement and music, doesn't it?
It does, and also light. So here you can see me wearing my design sunrise sunset. When you lift up the roof, that's where you find the traditional music box, where you twist and make the moon and sun rise in the garden. We'll spin around. And there is the light pouch. You can turn on the light, so the whole world is lit up. So you can see the little Japanese bridge, the cherry blossom. Here I'm spinning around, and it's all on a steampunk harness. So it's a lovely, ultra suede, very comfortable piece to wear. So it's playing the song Sunrise Sunset. Don't feel it on the roof. See the little world, and it just turns the sunrise and goes around and around.
I love it. It is such an amazing piece. And where did you come up with the design to have all the birds, and where did that come from?
So when I first got the beads and the theme, it brought to mind, I just saw Japanese gardens in my mind, and I thought of beautiful lucky cranes flying overhead this garden. And that's what I came up with.
It's absolutely amazing. And so
Thank you so much.
So excited to see what you do in the future with the next ones. The first one was so long and amazing, and now this one is musical, light, and movement. And so
It was a lot of fun to make. I can't wait to explore more possibilities with more movement, more lights. There's a lot of different possibilities to come up with.
That's so exciting. We can't wait to see what you do. Thank you so much for joining us. And you're a 2022 featured designer, is that true?
Yes, I am. I'm so excited. And I have a wonderful design that I'm working on that's coming from an experience of my real life that happened last year. So I can't wait to show that to you.
Wonderful. We look forward to seeing that. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
I love TOHO beads.
Yay! Stuart and Iwao, would you like to help us translate for our other viewers?
Sure. Thanks, Rochelle. 先ほどのラサーズさんのご回答を読み上げさせていただきます。最初の質問、フィーチャーアーティストに選ばれていかがですかという質問に対しては、こうおっしゃっていただきました。最初にフィーチャーアーティストの正体のお話をいただいたときは、嬉しすぎて、そして栄光に思いました。 長年憧れていましたが、そのフィーチャーアーティストになれて大変嬉しいです。とお答えいただきました。2つ目の質問。フィーチャーアーティストとしての作品作りはミニチャレンジの時にとは違うものですかという質問に対して、フィーチャーアーティストとしてデザインした時はユニークで特別なものを作ろうと、今までよりもさらにインスピレーションを受けました。また、自分の作品が日本へ旅をして、そしてティームTOHOの一部になるんだ。世界がコロナで大変なこのタイミングに日の当たる場所へと旅立っていくことに特別なものを感じました。すみません。このようにお答えいただきました。そして3つ目の質問。作品の中に音が鳴るものを仕組むというのはどのようにして生まれたアイディアなのでしょうかという質問に対してはこうおっしゃっています。いつか自分の作品の中で光と音楽を合わさせたいと思いました。今回、ティームTOHOで設定されているチャレンジのテーマは、モダントラディション、つまりモダンな伝統でした。そこで、伝統的であるビーディングへの私の愛情と、飛び出す本やオルゴールを楽しく、でも伝統的ではないやり方で組み合わせるというやり方に至りました。私が思い描いた伝統と伝統的な、すみません、伝統的でないものが合わせた小さな世界というのは、美しい桜の庭で太陽が沈んでいく姿ですと答えいただきました。そしてそのインスピレーションというのはまさに日本の鶴という飛んでいる鶴というインスピレーションがありましたので、まさにその大好きな日本からこの作品のインスピレーションでした。Thanks a lot, Rochelle.
I just wanted to remind you all again about our TOHO Challenge 2022 sweepstakes giveaway we're having tonight. We are giving away 10 TOHO mini challenge kits for the 2022 palette to anybody that would like to join us by commenting on our video of how much they love TOHO beads. And then like the video also, we'll put your name in the random drawing that we'll draw tomorrow, and we're giving out 10 of those kits. So we'd like to pass the torch back now to Iwao and Stuart to introduce the rest of the beautiful Japanese designs.
Thank you.
はい。そしたらまた日本チームにちょっと戻ります。TOHOチャレンジのミニキットプレゼントがありますので、ぜひとも皆さんいいねとコメント入れてくださいね。よろしくお願いします。それでは、最初にサフィラスさんの作品をご紹介したいと思います。
So now we'll have the piece by Sapphirus.
はい、サフィラスさんのコメント、今年もシードビーズをメインとしたビーズステッチ作品に挑戦しました。抽象絵画のような額に入れて飾れるそんな作品を目指して作成しました。シックなカラーと淡く可愛らしいカラーとが混在したキットで調和させるのに難しさも感じましたが、色の合わせ方によって見え方や印象が変わることを改めて学ぶことができ、とても楽しく制作することができました。とコメントいただきました。
In English, this year as well, I tried my hand at bead stitch works that mainly consist of seed beads. I made it with the aim of creating a piece that can be framed and displayed like an abstract painting. It was a kit with a mixture of chic colors and pale, cute colors, and I found it difficult to harmonize them. But I was able to learn again that the appearance and impression change depending on how the colors are matched, and it was a lot of fun to make. Next, we'll hear about The Star of Bethlehem by Ms. Yaiko Hinago.
はい、引き続き、ひなごやえこさんの作品を紹介したいと思います。タイトルはスター・オブ・ベツレヘム。この度も楽しく頭の体操をさせていただきました。作品は大人女子でも似合う今人気の大きな襟風結構大きな襟っていうのがね今流行ってますんで、それを目指して6枚の花びらを完璧な対称形に広げ、小さな花なのにしっかりと上を向いて咲く真っ白な花、大天な別名ベツレヘムの星をモチーフにして決して自己主張することなく、それでも存在感があるような女性をイメージしてビーズステッチで仕上げましたというコメントをいただきました。
And just to translate that, I enjoyed the brain teaser this time as well. This piece aims for the now popular big collar style befitting both women and girls, and with 6 petals spread out in perfectly symmetrical form, blooming steadily upwards. The small Oamana flower, otherwise known as the Star of Bethlehem flower, is the motif for this stitched piece that brings to mind the kind of woman who never asserts herself, but yet still has presence. Thank you so much, Hinago-sensei. And finally, we will look at Ms. Yoshimi Yamauchi's piece called Mai Musubi.
はい、引き続いて山内義美先生の、作品を紹介したいと思います。タイトルは舞結びということで、私がオリジナルで創作しているハーダンガー刺繍とビーズ刺繍のコラボレーション。ハーダンガービーズ刺繍をメインにビーズステッチ、ビーズ刺繍、ワイヤークロッシェといった様々なビーズの技法を盛り込んで制作しました。技法が変わると同じチャレンジビーズでも異なる表情を見せるので、そこを表現できるように工夫しましたといただきました。
I created this piece mainly using my original combination technique of hardanger beads embroidery and incorporated other beading techniques such as bead stitching, beads embroidery, and wire crochet. As the technique changes, the very same challenge beads will appear differently, so I came up with ways to express this. Thank you so much, Yamauchi-sensei. Arigatou gozaimasu. And now, back to you, Rochelle.
Such beautiful designs. Thank you again, Iwao and Stuart. We'll now share the rest of our featured designer pieces. Our next design is called Menorah Train by Leslie Belton. This was an interesting challenge. I had so many ideas from the brief. However, my piece came about from a chance conversation in which a friend mentioned that she had bought a menorah to teach her son about Hanukkah and the heritage of his ancestors. Judaism is such a traditional religion, it started me thinking about how I could perhaps make a traditional item, such as a menorah, more modern and appeal to children who traditionally are encouraged to light their own candles. The menorah train was born. The engine holds a shamash, or helper candle, used to light the others. For this reason, I decided to make the candle striped to symbolize its difference to the others. The 2 carriages hold the 8 candles representing the 8 days of celebration. In these uncertain times, my instinct has been to challenge myself and leave my comfort zone. I am happiest making beaded flowers, so this represented a real challenge in terms of researching a celebration I'm not familiar with and to bead a 3-dimensional object which was not a flower. The color palette was a joy to work with, and from it I have created a bright modern design. Next we have Nightmare by Mungara Blackwolf. A cool name, but why? Could such a creature be related to a mythical beast known as a nightmare? Maybe. Could it be that such a creature might haunt someone's nightmares? Perhaps. Was getting the materials for this piece an utter nightmarish study in the vagaries of shipping times? Definitely. Was this the sort of project that was a true nightmare to photograph? Yes. Was actually creating the beast a nightmare? No, not at all. It was challenging and great fun. I could not be more pleased with the results. I chose to use my fantasy creature known as Sorky as the inspiration for my piece for the TOHO challenge after receiving the kit. I had been thinking about doing something structural as my piece when I first got the invitation to the challenge, but since I didn't know the colors, I didn't have much of a plan beyond that point. When I got the kit, all of my different colors and shapes, I felt my original plan needed a bit of work. I could see that I would be able to use lots of different combinations of colors. Eventually, I decided the best way to make the use of the different colors and shapes would be to make a Sorky, since they are how I play with colors patterns when drawing. I pulled from every other craft I do to build the creature. Leather working for the backing of various bits of the creature, heavy gauge wire working, 20 gauge steel wires, what I usually use to make bags, to make the frame. Needle felting to make stuffing, the creature simpler, particularly the legs. Now let's hear from Nicole Vogt about her triangle maniac and her coral reef design.
Hello everyone, my name is Nicole and I'm from Germany. This is the third time that I participated in the TOHO challenge and I was very honored to be a featured designer this year. I'm always excited to get the kit and discover all the different colors, shapes and sizes of beads. By the way, TOHO has so beautiful colors and I especially love the permanent and metallic finishes. When I have the beads on my beading mat, I love to play with the colors and try many different combinations until I get some that I really like and that result in my final jewelry piece. My necklace, Coral Reef, began with a beautiful metal piece that I had in my stash and that fits so well with the color of this year. It grew step by step with every new element that I added to a background net of black seed beads, and that's the result. I really love TOHO beads. So keep on beading. Bye bye.
The next design is by Shirley Moore. The design of this necklace is definitely influenced by the past year. As we all have stayed closer to home, many of us turn to our gardens for education, entertainment, and peace. My garden and therefore my design both reflect my personality. I love perennials and bulbs, the wildflowers that pop up unexpectedly, the sturdy ivy that gives such a pretty ground cover under the live oaks. You will not find formal paths through my garden, rather wild seagrasses and tiny grape hyacinths and sweet william nestled under the crepe myrtles. I absolutely love bead embroidery, craw, and netting. They are some of my favorite stitches. Using craw with the two types of triangle beads creates sort of a thorny vine that winds up to the flowering clasp. I love how the size 6 demis made a caterpillar effect with the green rope, and the simple spiral on the middle rope reinforced the vine effect. For the focal section, I created as many flowers as possible, all spilling over and under each other just as they do in my garden. Seated on the base of the netting, I stitched them unsparingly so they can move around and do as they do in nature. The bead embroidery turned out very different from my initial drawing, so I was quite surprised with how lovely the dark red and terracotta played off each other. That became my favorite part of this side. The clasp was quite a mystery until the very end. It literally presented itself a week before the deadline. Thank you for the opportunity to be a featured designer for the TOHO 21 Challenge. It's been a wonderful honor and a wonderful journey in design. Next, we have Celtic Renewal by Sue North. The challenge, Modern Traditions, opened up the possibilities of delving into my Celtic heritage by discovering the many ancient symbols that my kin had used. I was able to recreate them by using more modern beading techniques. My inspiration came from using different Celtic knots, spirals, and shapes that emphasize the use of threes or tries to create a modern version of my heritage. Our next design is created by Ursula Way. This amazing fringe piece with a wonderful medallion in the center with the tree of life is composed of different connective parts which are a different, have all different features to them. It's different types of beads, embroidery, and different stitches. She's used the check beads in a really wonderful way. She has a center focal piece which really highlights the tree with more of an aura on top of it. I love the way it's linked together as well. Truly unique. Now let's hear from our next designer, Oksana Baikova, and hear about her modern garden.
Hello everyone, my name is Oksana. I live in America, but originally I am from Ukraine. I heard a lot of TOHO challenge before from other artists, but have never taken part in them. When I figured out how to join, I decided to join immediately, because I wanted to test myself if I can handle it. When I saw the colors for the first time, I was very excited because they were deep, calm, and inspiring. TOHO beads are the best seed beads for me because they are high quality and have a wide range of different beads. With TOHO beads, I can make my ideas come true. I would definitely say that I love TOHO beads.
Thank you so much. Stuart, will you now translate for our Japanese viewers?
Sure. Thanks very much, Rochelle. 先ほどの作者のコメントを簡単に紹介させていただきます。主にそのインスピレーションの源というのはその作者ご自分の庭とかお世話されている庭とか自分の想像の友達というソルキという友達が出てきまして、あとはその伝統、ご自分の家族、その古からの伝統がそのインスピレーションから取れましたということなんです。コメントとしてこういうふうなコメントをいただきました。その作品は次世代へその伝統を紹介するということもあるという作品もありまして、そのシンボルとして、そしていろんなテクニック、ビーズだけではなく、レザーであったり、ワイヤーワークであったり、いろんなテクニックを組み合わせて、新しいことを作り上げるという作品もありました。で、そのキットをもらうたびに、新しい発見ができるということもありまして、そして、この作品は自分が世話されている庭のリフレクションになっている。自分の地味な庭であっても、この作品はその庭の表現になっているという方もいらっしゃった。そして自分のヘリテージ、Celtic heritage、それがスコットランドの古の住民たちである、そのシンボル、その昔ながら大昔のシンボルを新しい 形で作り上げる、すごく楽しさもありました。そして最後に、modern garden、新しい庭、モダンの庭を作り上げるアイディアもありましたので、本当に自然との関係がすごくありましたという作品、という考えも示しました。そういうふうにいただきました。Thanks very much, Rochelle.
Thank you to all the 2021 featured designers for sharing your pieces and your inspirations. We hope everyone has enjoyed watching these works of art as much as we have. If you've taken the 2021 challenge yourself, we'd love to hear from you about your experience. Please send us your photos as well if you have not posted them yet. We would love to hear a short video of you that we could share with our beading world. Please email your link of your video files and your photos of your challenge pieces to tohochallenge@teamtoho.net. Stuart will now tell the rest of the world how to also join us.
いや、東宝チャレンジミニキット2021にね、ご参加いただいた方へのメッセージになります。ぜひね、作っていただいた感想とか、お声をですね、先ほどみたいな動画で、メッセージを送っていただけたらと思います。ショート動画を撮って、この下にある、東宝チャレンジ@チーム東宝.net の方に送ってください。東宝ビーズを愛する世界の皆さんと共有したいと思います。日本語だけでも構いませんし、世界中で共有するために簡単な英語でもいいので、ぜひお声を動画でもらえたら嬉しいです。
Thank you very much, Iwa. And now back to you, Rochelle, for the next stage, introduction of the new 2022 TOHO Challenge palette.
Thank you so much. What's up? Can they hear me? We're trying. We're trying, folks. We're having a technical glitch. I know. We see Ewell's being adorable. What happened? Ewell's really cute. I don't know. What do I want? What do I do?
Nothing. The finish.
I don't get it.
It's not allowing me to connect it anymore.
We ran out of time?
No, I don't know what's going on, but let's see.
Okay, because now Ewell's black too. Oh, there he is back again.
Wow. Let's talk about it.
Okay, you have a picture up there.
Yeah.
So we'd like to now introduce, we'll go ahead first here to introduce the TOHO Challenge 2022 palette.
はい。じゃあ、東宝チャレンジ2022のお知らせになります。今回のテーマは、新しい一日の始まり、夜明けというテーマでやりたいと思っています。夜明けというか、一日の始まりはですね、新しい可能性に満ちている感じがしますよね。未知のものを受け入れてアドベンチャーするぞ。そんな意気込みをテーマにしています。新商品のナティオみやびというね、色もアイコでお届けします。紅花とスクモアイという植物から色を抽出したシリーズです。製法は古の伝統がほとんどで、大昔の日本の技術が継承され、今でも変わりなく同じ方法で、培われているというナティオという職人さんが本当に手間をかけて、作り出した色を、で表現されている商品です。
Maybe Stuart will just translate. Anything we can do?
And so that was a description of our 2022 challenge palette. And of course, we are looking forward to it. 皆さんお楽しみにしてください。And so, of course, if it's okay, can we go back to you now, Rochelle, for the explanation of the palette in English?
But no,
Okay.
we can't.
Shall I go ahead and read what we have here then?
Yes, please, if you
Okay.
could.
Sure. All right. So TOHO Challenge 2022. You've been waiting for it. Dawn of a new day. As each day dawns, we look forward to the new possibilities that await us with each new day. Embrace the unknown and look forward to the adventure. In the new challenge palette, we have 7 fun Starman check bead colors, and we have 17 beautiful TOHO seed bead colors, including 4 of the new Natio Miyabi bead colors in Aiko beads. They are a series of colors extracted from the Benibana safflower and Tsukumo Ai indigo plants. Most of the production methods are ancient traditions, techniques carried on from long ago in Japan, and said to be even now fostered in the same way at Natio, the craftsman and the company that's really putting time and effort into producing these color series.
Turn it off.
はい、で今回のね、ライブをご覧いただいている方の中から抽選で10名の方にですね、2022の東宝チャレンジミニキットをプレゼントしたいと思います。応募方法は Facebook 上のこのライブの、ライブにいいねを、していただくこと。あとはそこに、何かコメントをいただけたら、と思います。コメントいただいた方の中から抽選で10名を選んで、ミニキットを送りたいと思いますので、皆さんふるっていいねとコメントの方をよろしくお願いしたいと思います。
Okay, and if you're ready, you can take it away, Rochelle, and let's talk about the sweepstakes.
Thank you so much. Sorry for a little technical difficulties. We really appreciate it. We want to remind you again, we're having our sweepstakes to give away our first 10 of our TOHO Challenge mini kits for the dawn of the new day. And so anybody wants to enter, all you have to do is comment in this video on how much you love TOHO beads, and then like the video, and we will draw our from random winners tomorrow, and we will let you know who won for a free kit. Thank you so much. We are just so excited that you could join us tonight, all our designers and guests from all over the world. We would like you to follow our Team TOHO Facebook page to see more of the TOHO Challenge images from this year and the past, to see daily postings and get announcements on challenge events. We are giving away hundreds of these TOHO Challenge kits through our different stores, vendors, and designers all over the world. So look for Team TOHO Facebook Challenge announcements so that you too can win your free kit, or you can go to your local bead shop. For anybody that is selling TOHO beads, should have all the beads in the TOHO Challenge palette, and a lot of them will have the TOHO mini kits as well for part of their promotions. So we thank you for joining us tonight, everybody. Happy beading! We love TOHO beads. Thank you for joining us.
TOHO beads, yeah.
皆さん今日は動画見ていただいてありがとうございました。TOHOビーズはこれからも皆さんに喜びと楽しみを提供するために頑張ってきてます。今年のテーマはビーズでもっとビーズでエンタメです。これからのTOHOビーズにご期待ください。それでは。
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Happy beading.